Hi guys, and welcome to your daily tarot reading for Tuesday, the 1st of March 2022. Thanks for joining me. I'm going to use the Hermetic Tarot again for today's reading. I used it recently and I really enjoyed these cards, so I just want to see what they have to say about Tuesday and what's coming up for you. So let me just shuffle these a couple of times and then see what the tarot has to say about this day. Okay, so the first card, we have the Queen of Pentacles. Lovely. Then we have the Knight of Pentacles. Okay, so earthy day. Practical, grounded. Be able to get things done. And then finally we have the Eight of Wands. Things moving very quickly. Good news coming in that pick up the pace even more. And you really hit the ground running here on the 1st of March. Okay, so that's really interesting and it bodes very well for the rest of March, because I always feel like the reading for the first day of the month kind of tells us a bit more about the entire 30 days. So 31 days in the case of March. So we got two court cards and we have a minor arcana card. So it's likely that you'll have contact with lots of people on this day, and there's a temporary influence or a temporary opportunity that if you look for it, you can seize that opportunity and make sure you don't miss out on anything. Right, so the Queen of Pentacles is in charge of the element of earth, and that has to do with the real world. It has to do with work, setting goals, and then actually achieving those goals, working hard, facing negativity, being able to deal with it, to transform it, most importantly. That's the gift of the Queen, that she's able to take something which is, you know, mediocre or middle of the road, and she's able to work on it and to elevate it to being something unique and amazing. We've got these two here, kind of like the Sphinxes in the Chariot card, and good circumstances and bad circumstances don't influence the Queen of Wands. She works so hard that it really doesn't matter if she's starting down here or up here. Her talent is exactly the same, and she can perfect any situation by applying her willpower. We've got Aries here. Aries is a fire sign, and that's about using your will, your strength to move things forward. So the great news is that whether there's information coming in via the Eight of Wands that's welcome or unwelcome, it's really no skin off your nose. I really don't think you're going to be bothered whatsoever. And you're going to say, all right, like everything else today, I take things in my stride, I accept them, and I'm going to make the most out of them. Thank you very much. So it's very practical. It's super positive, constructive, and you're very much in a strong place here. Next, the Knight of Pentacles is one step down from the Queen. He's not yet mastered the element. He's kind of trying to figure it out. So what he notices is that he has some sort of a problem. So with the Knights, they're extreme. So this being the Knight of Pentacles, his issue is that sometimes he procrastinates and he overanalyzes and he just sits around and gets nothing done. And then other days he's completely impatient and he's way over the top and he works like a machine, but he finds it very difficult to find that middle ground. So it's interesting that we have the Star of David in this deck, because the Star of David is a symbol for the physical world and the spiritual world meeting and combining in a way that's perfectly symmetrical, and it's a perfect partnership. So what he does to manage his circumstances, or to try and fill that gap until he graduates to become the king or queen, he asks for support and for guidance from his higher self, from his angels, from his guides. And that's such a great prescription for life. You know, if you have an issue, you don't have to berate yourself by not being better. You try and find ways of making it better for yourself, or growing as a person and learning about the situation so that you can master it. So this is a person who realizes that he's imperfect like the rest of us, and that that's okay. He doesn't need to, you know, beat himself over the head about it. Instead, he can find alternatives to kind of spread the weight until he does master this one area, and that's the way to move ahead. So he supports himself, he nurtures himself, he's there when he messes up or when he's in a crisis. He's his own best friend. He doesn't then make things even worse by telling himself some negative, horrible story. This is interesting. We've got a deer with antlers and wings. So the deer and the antlers, I suppose, are nature and innocence and youth and beauty. It's also masculinity and the willingness to engage in conflict and to realize that sometimes things can be a little bit challenging and that you can have freedom within that. You know, most of us feel at some point in our life that, yeah, once I get this or once I sort out this issue, then I can live my life. Everything's going to be wonderful. But the Knight of Pentacles in this deck is saying life can be wonderful even if things are imperfect. You can find freedom within your circumstances that may be less than ideal. And that's a really liberating message because most things on planet Earth aren't 100% positive or negative. They usually contain a bit of both. We've got the North Node there and 2 symbols for Virgo. So the way to move forward with your life, the way to become more experienced and to be less extreme is to look at your circumstances and to learn from them, to let them teach you about your part in the situation, the role you play. And by understanding that, taking responsibility for it, you can leave it behind and you can really enjoy true freedom. True freedom. Finally, the Eight of Wands, minor arcana card that's in the element of fire, which has to do with your life purpose and its energy and drive and getting things done. We've got Mercury here, so communication. Mercury rules Virgo, so communication is heightened and supported, particularly when it comes to reading a situation. You know, it's like walking into a room and reading the atmosphere. That's what I mean by that. You have this intuitive understanding of what the situation is, what's missing, what's needed, and how you can provide that. Sagittarius is adventure, it's travel, it's learning, it's looking to the future, it's optimism, joy, and a feeling of motivation and passion. So one, you have that because you realize you can get things done. If you want to focus on one thing in particular, you have the strength to work with it and the opportunity to learn from it, to grow as an individual. But also, Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, the lucky planet, and the Eight of Wands is about news. So it's likely that you get some good news today rather than some bad news. Again, whether it's good or bad doesn't matter because it's not going to rattle you at all. But I do feel, and I'm going to lean on the side of you getting some good news, which then encourages you even further, motivates you even more so that you can be super productive and you can reach very far. The thing about the Eight of Wands is there are a lot of wands and it seems kind of messy. So rather than jumping on every opportunity that comes your way on this day, pick 1 or 2 that are most important to you, that make you feel motivated. And I think that's the best way to decide what to engage with. Does it interest me? Does it make me feel motivated? Yes. Okay, I'll pursue it. Is this dull and tedious? Maybe I'll pursue that at another time if possible. I mean, the procrastination of the Knight of Pentacles, if something needs to be done, absolutely, and you don't love it, then just get it done, tick the box, and move on to something that you do actually enjoy. But it's not like you're doomed to just do tedious, kind of repetitive stuff all day long. You have a big choice here and great room for progress, and you get all of these opportunities kind of handed to you. Number-wise, we've got 2 court cards, which count as 1. So 1 and 1 is 2, and 8 is 10. 10 reduces to 1 in numerology, and 1 is about being in charge of your circumstances, taking responsibility, using your strength to make things happen. It's the Magician in the tarot. So by listening to your higher self to kind of fill the gaps of knowledge and strength and experience, you make yourself whole, and then you can create something truly magical in your life, and you can design it so that it suits your needs and wants and feelings and thoughts. Yeah, you can tailor make your life. I hope you have an amazing day. And again, this does bode really, really well for March. I hope you learn some positive things and have a really fun, good experience. If you'd like a personal reading with me, please get in touch with me via my website. It's gregoryscott.com. On the front page, scroll down a bit and click on the button that says book your reading to audio reading with me. I use the tarot, astrology, and numerology in my personal reading. So if you have any questions at all about anything, please do get in touch for a personal reading. If you like this video, then give it a thumbs up. Please hit subscribe and share it online. Have an amazing day, and I'll speak to you tomorrow.